Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So, little project I'm doing this afternoon. I put this drain in a while ago. The reason being is this workshop kept flooding. And so the drain solved that, but the problem is what happened is over the years, this water kept infiltrating here, which isn't uncommon. He's got doors around garages and whatnot. And what it does is it wicks on up. See how it's wicked up there? And it's rotted all that out, and rotted this door sill out. So I'm in the process now. See, with the bottom of that sill, most of these sills have wood on the bottom of them, so all of that is rotted too. So this sill is pretty much junk, and this board, and I've already taken out this board on this side, and this top one I've got loose right here. Okay, and I'll show you what I purchased. That you can get a frame kit, right? That basically is this rabbited frame that looks like this with the weather stripping. It's got the one side piece, the other side piece, and the top piece. So that's one set you can get. The second thing, you have to buy the threshold separately. So I bought a threshold too, and I'm in the process right now. Don't mind this mess in the workshop because we're in flux here, but so these are the new pieces that we're putting in, as you can see, rabbited. This one's still got the weather stripping on it. You got to pull the weather stripping out to do the cutting on them. And then I've taken the old piece so that I could, all the dimensions are going to make sense with this door. And now I've got to make the top of this look like this, right? So I'm going to have to cut this section off a little bit, cut the length off a little bit. And then we'll rabbit this little section out. Basically, I'll take a chisel and I'll pop that out. And then do the same to the other side so that we can put the new frame together. Here's the new threshold, okay? Like I say, you can get these. And same thing, it's got the wood on the bottom, but it's obviously nice now. Now this end of the door kit already has the angle cut on it. So this end's good, don't have to do anything with it. But we have to trim the top so it makes sense, and we'll have to trim the board that goes between them so that makes sense. So we're using, fortunately this thing isn't so torn up so that we could still kind of get dimensions off it. See how rotted it was? We also took a measurement off the door and put the threshold into place, and there's the top of the threshold. Okay, hit right there, measured 80 inches up for this door. Every door you got to measure them. 80 inches up is right here. So that made sense. It kind of matched what we found on this, but it was a good double check since we didn't have, that bottom was kind of rotted. And we used that to go from there. So hopefully we got it right. So now I'm going to go cut this off, lightly cut through that, and not all the way, only to right here. And then I'll chisel that out. Okay, so I cut this thing off the length. That's where the board's going to fit, okay? And then I used my chop saw and didn't take it all the way down and cut across here, and then came across here to pop this piece off right here. I went ahead and used the multi-tool. So I've gotten really fond of this thing in the last couple of years, so I use it for all kinds of stuff. This isn't fine carpentry here, we just need a good fit. So see, that's the way that's going to fit up right there. All right, so that looks pretty good, right? What do you think? And I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll trim this to length and we start putting this frame together. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is really tricky. This is the hinge side, so we cut that, got that grooved out just like the other one. Now we got to go back and find out where these hinges go, okay? So I've gotten that other board done, and I'm going to use that as a template because we need to match that up perfectly. So what I need to know is and I'm going to have to flip this on its back, right, so that I can bring those marks over. But what I did was I found each side of these hinges, okay, and then I used my square and I brought those to the back side, and I have a mark there and there. The other one I did was this top right here I brought here and brought it to the back, just in case this width isn't the same. If you can see, this width isn't the same right here. So, and then what we do is we're going to take that, and I match that mark I brought back there and a mark from this one. And if you look, if you can tell right there, they're not really the same. Okay, so that's a problem. But what I'm going to do now, it's not a problem because we caught it, I should say. If I had just used from the end, it would have been a problem, right? So, but now we didn't mess up. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take those lines of where those hinges go. I'm going to go right down the board and do those 3 hinges, and then we will mark the other direction and cut those out. Okay, so I measured this board, right? That's 1 3/8 back. And I'm coming around and I'm bringing a line there. So I've squared off top, bottom, and then the 1 3/8, I brought that line down. So that is what we have to go down 1/8 of an inch and cut that pattern out so we recess our hinge. So that's next.